So why can't you press the handstand yet? We'll be going over a couple of different mistakes, and really they come down to four main areas. So it's really a lack of coordination can be one reason. It can be a lack of hip compression or pelvic control, not leaning forwards enough in the shoulders, and maybe opening the hips too soon. So let's take a look more closely at what some of these mistakes look like. So the first one I mentioned was lack of coordination. So sometimes a press will look like this, where the legs don't know what to do. They don't have the pathway ingrained in, and the core is loose, and the whole movement breaks down really. So this needs to be trained. What muscles need to be fired, what pathway the legs should go on, how to straighten the legs, and so on. So an uncoordinated press to handstand was his first big mistake. So second big mistake, lack of hip compression of why you might not be able to do a good press to handstand. And this comes down to the physical requirements again. So let's go into what good hip compression looks like. So hip compression, when I'm talking about this, is can you fold your body in half? The distance between the torso and the upper leg needs to be as close as possible. So let's show a good press to handstand where there's good hip compression. Nice and close. You can see the hip was really up against the chest and stomach there. Now, lack of hip compression. What does this look like? So bigger distance, planchy, doesn't work very well. You have so much more weight behind the hands. And this is because normally the hamstrings aren't flexible enough, or the hip flexors aren't strong enough to pull the legs close to the torso in the first place. And usually it's a combination of both. So that's what tight hips look like, or a lack of hip compression of why you might not be able to do a press to handstand. And really you have to spend a lot of your sessions on that particular physical requirement. The third one is possibly not leaning forwards enough into the hands or forwards with the shoulders due to a weakness. So let's see what this looks like. So pay attention to the shoulders, and right now we're starting behind the hand. And if the shoulders aren't strong enough to do a forward lean, we end up with no balance. We're not counterbalancing the fact that so much weight is behind the hands, and that might be because the shoulders aren't strong enough to withstand a forward lean in the press to handstand. So that can be another mistake of why you can't do a press to handstand yet. And then lastly, a combination of them can be opening the hips too early. And this could be because of the lack of hip compression. It could be the lack of coordination, a variety of reasons. But if the hips open too early, meaning the distance, again, between the torso and legs, if it opens too early, if the legs close too soon, the timing's off, and again, the weight distribution is off too. So let's see what that looks like of starting compressed, but then opening up too soon. So it's too soon, and he's actually trying to drive his legs back up to the top. So let's look at one more of them. Watch the distance between the hips and the torso. They open too soon, it's not balanced, and press the handstand didn't work. So that's what a few of these mistakes can look like, and really they're related. They can be a combination of a few of them, but these are the common errors and mistakes we see, and they might be your mistake as well, and we'll show you how to work those in other videos. So thanks for watching. And then lastly, just to bring it all home, while you're training this, it's important that you have straight arms in this whole process. That will get you to be stronger. It'll be more appropriate for how you're trying to end up with the ideal press to handstand in the end. If you train each progression along the way with bent arms, you will end up with a bent arm press to handstand. So it's training this with locked arms, meaning completely straight and just throughout the whole way through the process. So when identifying the different mistakes and where you need to improve on the press to handstand, make sure you reference our other videos. For the coordination, we have this in our progressions video on how to train the lower half of the body, the timing, and the coordination to make sure the press to handstand movement pathway is created properly. For the hip compression and flexibility, you'll see that in our mobility and flexibility for press to handstand. So check out our other press to handstand related videos, and that way you can fill the gaps in and fill the deficits of why you can't do a press to handstand yet. Train it well, train it consistently, and you'll find you'll make some good progress. Thank you. So how strong are you? Calisthenics is the ultimate in body weight training because it's fun, challenging, and rewarding, but it's also difficult to know where to start in the whole process. So that's why we created a free calisthenics fitness assessment. And what this will do is it'll help you find out exactly where you are in your pathway of calisthenics mastery. It'll help create personalized workouts for you. It'll help you achieve your goals faster. So we want everyone to have access to this regardless of their budget and location. So as long as you have internet, you'll be able to take control of your fitness program. So click below for the free assessment tool.